Welcome to Turn Illness into Brilliance, where we turn problem into solution and illness into the brilliance that is unique to you. Quantum Therapeutix offers solution for C-PTSD, PTSD, and dissociation. In this journey with us, we hope to reignite your curiosity around what is possible. So welcome, welcome, welcome to Turn Illness into Brilliance. Oh my gosh, I want to welcome you to Turn Illness into Brilliance. I'm your host, Cherie Doyen, and today I have Sydney Hemwell with me. And we are here to just really, first off, discuss what quantum therapeutics is and what is possible. Yeah?
Right.
So quantum therapeutics was kind of born out of my personal desperation to heal. We say heal, right? I don't really like that word, but to recuperate from childhood trauma, C-PTSD, and those cycles that kept kind of like, you know, sideswiping me through life. And, you know, we didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. There were a lot of bits and pieces of things that really worked and really stuck with me through the years that have culminated in what is now quantum therapeutics, right? Which is a system, a new modality that truly can create resolution in a very rapid way from the cycles. Now, we do then have to learn how to live differently because, you know, there are two very distinct stages in coming out of this. And one is, you know, truly cleaning up the glitches in time that keep repeating themselves, and secondly is, you know, the stage in which we have to really address our behaviors and our words and how we're showing up in the world. What we choose is acceptable. That's not possible as long as the backward programs are still running. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now, Sid has been with me and quantum kind of from the get-go before it was ever even quantum, right? We were at that point, like, I was recognizing things that were duplicatable, and as I was working with other people, I'd be like, oh, that's cool, can we make that happen again? And you know, the bits and pieces that are new and different were pieces that showed up, right, in working with others, and was like, oh, that was super amazing, can we make that happen again, right? Mm-hmm. So kind of what was your experience as you were going through?
So I would have to speak from the get-go of just being simply realigned with my body, my astral body, my physical body. Was that just from those beginning moments, it was already like, whoa.
Because that's a foundational action that quantum is, you know, built from.
Yeah.
Right? You know, dissociation is the separation of one thing from another, right? And that has come out of the idea column in our bubble, right?
Right.
So that is a foundational piece, and that was humongous for myself as well. Like, whoa, looking out of my eyeballs is a completely different space to be. Now I can maybe choose, right?
Right. No, I mean, it's like the lights turned on, like, wow, like I didn't know that I wasn't in my body, and now like this is giving me so much, like my board of choices felt like it completely changed. And through that, like we began to start picking things apart, you know, and walking through was quantum jump, which is, as you put it, like it's an action that we can take. And through a quantum jump was fascinating. Like you're in one moment, we're just speaking about things. And then the next, like I'm being asked to close my eyes and like I'm back in this moment in time, you know, as my adult self getting to kind of be the hero that my younger self needed, you know?
Yeah, it's like a rescue mission. I mean, truly, you know, quantum is about the children on every level of being. whether it be our fragmented selves that have been scattered through time and are having to live in Groundhog's Day every moment, right? Mm-hmm. Or the kids that are coming after us that, like, you know, I mean, PTSD, C-PTSD is like a virus of the mind, and we pass it on. So, right. You know, as we heal ourselves with a capital S, and you know, we have the opportunity to make choices that are going to benefit those that follow us. Yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and through that, just getting to bring those pieces and just really, like, I think something that really taught for me from coming from, like, you know, we talked about, like, being kind of a shrub that can't grow upwards, like, at the beginning. Like, I, you know, like, I didn't know I could grow up so, like, easily and so quickly. Like, it was just, like, all of a sudden, like, really quickly, you're kind of running.
Yeah, you're kind of like being able to live. It's, you know, as this is developed and we've worked with people, it's like, you know, kind of like a tree. If we don't have a strong enough root base, right, with a strong taproot, the tree's going to fall out of the ground. And I think that we all can identify with that feeling of living, collapse, living, collapse, right? And I think that that's what I love to see happen, is that we're developing a taproot, which, you know, throughout our 5 levels of being, that is a trajectory of choice that is dependable.
And what are our 5 levels of being?
Our behavior, mental, energetic, physical, and spiritual, right? All of which are comprised of systems. And if we're out of integrity or out of alignment in any of those systems, they're going to affect the whole thing, right? So, you know, that taproot, that trajectory of choice, which becomes dependable, is our integrity, right? Now, the thing is that we're not dependable to ourselves either. Right? Because, you know, one moment you may say yes and the next moment you may say no, and you don't know why, right? So in that space of self-trust and integrity and trajectory of choice, we can actually start having relationships with people that are valuable and truthful, where love doesn't hurt. And the love of one doesn't negatively affect others, right? Because that's not love. And bottom line with quantum, we are striving to bring compassion back to the children of this planet. And on all levels, your fragments, the poor kids out on the planet that are struggling, like, you know, we're not going to have a new level of humanity until we start investing in ourselves with a capital S and our children, right, in a real valuable way. So, yeah, and that's quantum, yeah? Now, as a practitioner, what are you experiencing?
So, as a practitioner, I'm just seeing how much it is choice. You know, like, I saw that a little bit as a client. But as a practitioner, really seeing how guiding people through this process, how quickly things are changing, and well, seeing that they have a choice in all of it, you know, like a lot of these labels that are used in the mental health industry are just like, they start asking me, like, am I actually that? Or they themselves are like, I'm just going to put it down, like it doesn't have a place anymore.
Because the thing is those labels, whether they be mental, physical, whatever they are, right? Come with a morphic field of energy that is deteriorating energy, right? So if we're pulling in the energy of fibromyalgia, we are going to feel pain all over our body, right? So we're very quickly saying, hey, let's, like a kindergartner, let's talk about what your body is expressing versus the labels, right? Because again, we're just interacting with a huge morphic field of ideas rather than saying my leg hurts today. That is much less overwhelming than fibromyalgia. Right? You know, or saying, yeah, my hand's really kind of swollen today, it's kind of achy, right, is very different than I have arthritis, right? If you have an achy hand, you can go deal with an achy hand, and that's momentary. It's not like you're living your life within these adopted set of structures. Yeah, so, you know, and one thing that I can say too, I was very grateful that I didn't find what I was looking for in many ways when I was searching for the name of that one thing that had my world turned upside down. What I can say is that, you know, being able to walk forward in wholeness is something that is real and true, and it can happen, and I'm here to say that, right? And wholeness is different than healing, right? Wholeness is different than managing or coping. So in this quantum therapeutics program, you're getting an activation, an upgrade. You're learning how to be brilliant and not ill, right? You're learning how to navigate life and be in the eye of the needle and not affected by all the chaos, right? You're learning how to live life as a superhuman being, right? And that's quantum therapeutics.
Yeah, and I'd love to just add with like being someone who's been through it, like how much really does change. Like you just get to live your life, you know, and just get to build through that. Like we're talking about like the building and the crashing down, like, you know, since I started, like it's just been a build. There's no, like, I don't see that. It's not a part of my world, you know. Like I'm just moving forward and just doing what I enjoy and getting to be the being that I am, and like doing the work that I'm here to do, you know.
Yeah, and that's what we celebrate with quantum therapeutics. So turn your illness into brilliance, yeah? And lay down those labels and learn how to be that superhuman being who has access to what others only dream about, yeah? And Chronicles of Tigwa takes us into C-PTSD and the magic that's housed there through the eyes of a child living through that constant state of challenge. And by challenge, I mean challenge, yeah? And how she maneuvers that. So grab up your copies, and thank you so much, Sydney, for being here with us today. And thank you for joining us here for Turn Illness into Brilliance. Now let's take a big deep breath as we shift gears and move into the Today I Choose segment of our show. We'd like to invite you to carve out a spot in your home where you're going to feel completely free to allow your body to speak and move and be present in this very moment. Thought, word, and action come together with the frequency of sound. So get comfy, close your eyes, and allow the words to turn into action and action turn into reality with Today I Choose. So I'm excited to have you join us here to the Today I Choose segment of our Turn Illness into Brilliance podcast. Now in this segment, we're going to take what we're talking about and we're going to put it into action, because if There's no action. You're just thinking about it and nothing is changing. And if nothing else, quantum is about change. Visible, tangible change. Change that you can measure and see. And we're starting with our toes, right? As we learn to reclaim our body, our marker is, can I find the pulse in my big toes? Right? Are my feet awake? Right? Can I feel them touching the ground? Right? Now here's our first exercise, right? So for those of you that can see your entire self in your room, right? Up on your feet now, remember, eyes open. We're navigating the world. We're not sitting around thinking about it, right? If you can see the top of your head, I want you to drop down through the center of your head into your corpus callosum. Don't worry about what that is because you know. The corpus callosum is the control room of all that you are. It gives us access to the gap that we've been trying to achieve in meditation and prayer. It's the band of neural pathway that go from left and right brain, giving you the possibility of creation. Now we're going to drop down and we're going to fill up your chest cavity. Right? As if you were filling up a water balloon. We want that weight to come in, that emptiness to disappear, right? You are home. This is your receiver of all information. Any building, any structure that is uninhabited deteriorates extraordinarily quickly. So we're reclaiming this body, right? Now let's bring our awareness to our arms. Focus on those fingertips, and we're going to let that energy drop all the way down as if it were water, filling up the fingers, the hands. That's you. Drop down from the chest cavity and we're going to fill up the torso all the way down to your sits bones. Each organ is flooded, right? You're feeling the weight in your hips. You're feeling life. You want to feel those hips moving, right? They're feeling the energy. They're feeling life, right? Those legs, right? We're rocking back and forth. We can feel our hips going. We can feel our toes wanting to move, right? We're going to fill up our thighs, our calves, all the way to the bottoms of your feet. Each toe is filling up. Locate the pulse in the big toe of your right foot. I can feel the blood rushing in my toes. That's you. That's you coming home. Now let's bring your awareness to the big toe of your left foot. You can feel life rushing in. Welcome home. Now this is your work. While other people are learning how to get out and have those out-of-body experiences, you're learning what it feels like to be here in this world and not of it. Welcome home. And on behalf of myself and the Quantum Therapeutics team, we want to thank you for tuning into Turn Illness into Brilliance, where we turn problem into solution and illness into the unique brilliance that is you. Quantum Therapeutics for rapid results for resolution to C-PTSD, PTSD, and dissociation. Today, you can choose to schedule your call